I'm about to unleash about Shedeur Sanders. I just watched what happened to Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns' third and final preseason game. And I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski.
The Browns just pulled off the NFL's biggest magic trick, turning Shedeur Sanders into a bench decoration, and Skip Bayless isn't having it. He's torching Cleveland like they're running a circus instead of a team. Buckle up. This meltdown makes the Browns' playbook look like a comedy script.
But I'm going to answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to fail. That's right, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Here we are on national television, right? There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been starting against he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all. Think about that. So you're just going to throw him to the wolves like that, huh? I mean, you know, if he had first team snaps in practice, I don't say that.
The Cleveland Browns have done it again. If there's a way to take a gift, wrap it in duct tape, set it on fire, and toss it into Lake Erie, the Browns will find it. And this time, the gift they're fumbling isn't a draft pick, a coach, or even a winnable season. It's Shedeur Sanders. Yes, the one quarterback people actually wanted to watch. The Browns somehow managed to turn him into an afterthought, and Skip Bayless is practically foaming at the mouth.
That's what people don't understand, though. This had nothing to do with Kenny Pickett to us, and to keep it real, it had nothing to do with Dylan Gabriel, nothing to do with Deshaun Watson, nothing to do with Tyler Huntley or Joe Flacco or any of the other 1,000 quarterbacks they're about to get. It had everything to do with the ownership going out their way to, how do you properly say it, to basically just stop progress, dog. They didn't care about Shedeur and his health. They didn't care about what Shedeur provided already for the team. They did not care that Shedeur Sanders was officially a Cleveland Browns. Even before the final roster, you drafted Shedeur in the 5th round. Most 5th rounders get cut, but let's stop it.
Because let's be real, the Browns are allergic to talent. They see promise and immediately treat it like a dangerous substance. Oh, is this guy good? Let's lock him in a dark room and never let him touch the field. It's their specialty. And Shedeur, who could light up the NFL with a highlight reel every Sunday, is instead being forced to sit back and watch the team reinvent new ways to collapse. Skip Bayless isn't just mad. He's volcanic. He's watching Cleveland waste Shedeur the way your aunt wastes her gym membership. There's no return on investment, no progress, just endless bills and disappointment. Skip has seen plenty of incompetence in sports, but even he can't process how the Browns are paying for talent only to shove it behind quarterbacks who look allergic to throwing the ball forward.
Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance with the play calling. You know you have an offensive line that isn't playing that well. So what do? Why not just play the short game so we can get the ball out of his hands very fast to run a competent goddamn offense? Outside of that, Shedeur has to be better in understanding that the offensive line that you're working with right now is not adequate. Why not allow the players that are competing for a job, in this instance, Shedeur Sanders, to finish off the 2-minute drill?
I know the man that Shedeur Sanders is. I know the man that Deion Sanders is. I have a great relationship with them. This is not about Shedeur's talent because, as I've stated before, he should have been a first-round pick. That's what his tape said, regardless of the name on the back of his jersey. But the reality of the situation is they are setting him up to fail.
And here's the kicker. The Browns fan base is still trying to justify it. They'll tell you about development time or building chemistry, as if those aren't just fancy phrases for, we have no idea what we're doing. Meanwhile, Shedeur's sitting there like a Ferrari parked in a garage while the team insists on riding around in a rusty tricycle. You don't develop a guy by leaving him to rot. You develop him by letting him torch defenses and turn the dog pound into a dog show.
The truth is, you couldn't keep Kenny Pickett. We've told them this. Now, I don't trust the Browns. I trust the beautiful people of Cleveland. I don't know what these weird organizations are about to do with Shedeur, because people keep telling me, bro, you should be happy he's on the team, this and that. No, I don't care if they get rid of every single quarterback. We literally see Kevin Stefanski not trying to do anything with Shedeur but get him injured. The only way I can be moved is the front office being clean house, Kevin Stefanski being fired. Then I will actually know the coverts and agents won't be there no more.
Skip sees it for what it is, another chapter in Cleveland's ongoing comedy routine. This is the same franchise that can turn a first-round draft pick into a trivia question within 3 years. And now they've managed to get their hands on Shedeur, someone with more buzz than half the league combined, only to make him invisible. It's like the Browns are in a contest with themselves. How can we ruin something great before it even starts? The absurd part is how obvious the solution is. Put Shedeur on the field. Let him throw bombs. Let him electrify the stadium. Let him prove he belongs in the spotlight.
Get excited, Browns fans. Shedeur Sanders was very impressive in his rookie debut. Preseason game 1 against the Panthers last night. Oh, man. Now, it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but for what you wanted to see, for what I wanted to see in this game from Shedeur Sanders, I saw it, and more, actually. So, to break down the stats, Shedeur Sanders, 14 of 23 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This was in 2.5 quarters of play during the preseason game. He also rushed 4 times for 19 yards. He did take 2 sacks for -6 yards, but he ended with a quarterback rating of 106.8.
But no, Cleveland's playbook seems to say, Step 1, identify talent. Step 2, lock it away. Step 3, lose games anyway. It's pure artistry, failure packaged as strategy. Skip's rant makes sense because he knows star power when he sees it, and Shedeur isn't just a player, he's a phenomenon. The guy has a logo, a fan base, and more social media traction than the Browns' entire PR team could dream of. People aren't buying Cleveland tickets to watch a backup run checkdowns. They want Shedeur dropping dimes. They want fireworks, not field goals that barely limp through the uprights. But Cleveland acts like they've got time to waste. Spoiler alert, they don't. The NFL is ruthless. If you don't unleash your weapon, someone else will.
He makes that call. Why? Because I want the last thing people to see is the mistakes and the sacks that happen and not give him a chance to redeem himself. Because I think probably what would have happened, okay, we can't have Shedeur come in here and finish this 2-minute drive and go down and get a touchdown. We don't want that. And in chat, for those of you who are listening and watching, I'm not making an excuse for him. He played bad. But I can tell you why he played bad. I mean, if you know the game of football and understand the game of football, understand that those that are in there with him during that time, I'm not going to be on the team.
And right now, the Browns are wasting Shedeur in a way that could make even the most patient fans start Googling new teams. You know it's bad when even Skip Bayless, the man who can find something to scream about in preseason warm-ups, is actually right. The irony is, the Browns had a golden opportunity. They could have been the team to finally break their curse, to ride the hype train, to turn Shedeur into a franchise savior. Instead, they're clinging to mediocrity like it's a family heirloom, and the longer they do it, the louder Skip's voice gets. You can practically hear the steam blasting from his ears as he lists all the ways Cleveland is sabotaging itself.
Obviously held the ball too long, but he's trying to make a play because he's trying to make a splash. He made a big splash in that first preseason game when everybody was hurt and they had no choice but to play him, and he lit them up. He shamed them and the NFL in the first preseason game with that performance. It was spectacular and completely unsurprising to me because I'm going to say it again one more time. I said before last college football season started that Shedeur should go first overall or Travis Hunter 1-2-2-1, whether the team drafting first needed a quarterback.
They're setting Shedeur up to fail.
We go!
Check it out. Yesterday it was announced that Shedeur Sanders will be the starter versus the Carolina Panthers Friday night. But people have a theory that they're really setting him up to fail. And this all started when Louis Riddick said this a couple days ago.
I'm afraid he's going to get on the field in preseason games without a lot of practice reps. And then they're going to ask him to perform these heroic tasks in order to prove that he's worthy of being a starter when he hasn't had enough reps to really get comfortable. That's the kind of battle he's dealing with right now. I know. I've seen it. Dom, you've seen it.
Imagine the headlines if Shedeur were actually playing. National buzz, sold-out jerseys, highlights everywhere. Instead, the Browns are hoarding him like some secret project, only their project looks less like genius planning and more like pure self-sabotage. It's like keeping Beyoncé in the choir and wondering why no one's buying tickets. Skip isn't just ranting, he's begging for common sense. Play the guy. Use the talent you've been gifted. Stop acting like opportunity is something you can save for later. Because if Cleveland doesn't figure it out soon, Shedeur won't just be wasted, he'll be gone. And when that happens, the Browns will once again look around, shrug, and wonder why their stadium echoes louder with boos than cheers. But hey, maybe that's the Browns' master plan all along.
I don't think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter. And I'm gonna admit something on TV that you probably shouldn't. I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders. I wanted to turn the film on and be able to come on First Take, be on Get Up, and be on NFL Live and pound the table that he has been done wrong.
Maybe they enjoy being the punchline, the circus act, the never-ending blooper reel of the NFL. Because wasting Shedeur Sanders? That's not just incompetence, it's performance art. And Skip Bayless, love him or hate him, is making sure the world doesn't miss the show. One thing's certain, if Cleveland keeps this up, the only thing Shedeur will be throwing is side-eye from the sidelines, while Skip keeps throwing verbal haymakers at the Browns front office. And honestly, at this point, that might be the only entertainment Cleveland football has left.